Hi, this is Jack from Alpha Charts with a stocks to watch video. Today is Sunday, August 7th, 2022. Before we get started, this video is for informational purposes only. These are not recommendations to buy, sell, or hold any stock or security, and I may hold positions in some of the equities mentioned. Know your time frame and risk tolerance. All right, and again, just a quick announcement. If you haven't heard, I am now a super follow on Twitter. So what does this get you? So basically, on Saturdays, I am putting out every other week. I put out the long view video. I'm also updating charts on Saturdays. On Sundays, I am doing my top setups, and I'll go over a few the two that I had for last week because they're still on my list this week. I also put out a market note Sunday night. Just for my super follows. I do a midweek video on Tuesday for my super follows. I also do a midweek note on Thursday for my super follows, and I do daily scans 5 days a week for my super follows. On Friday, I open it up to all of Twitter, but Monday through Thursday, my scans are just for the super follows. Also, my DMs are open to all my super follows, so there's questions. Or concerns or just education that somebody needs, I'm there for you. It's not a true service. I don't want to misconstrue what it is. It is basically more like a mentorship, idea generation, and hopefully building some sort of community type there. So that's what I got going on. It's super follow. It's on Twitter. I'm gonna link to it down below. If you're interested, you can just click the link in the thing, or on Twitter at AlphaCharts365. If you go to my homepage, there'll be a super follow thing right there. Or you can message me and I'll be happy to provide the link for you. So far it's been going great, to be honest with you. I've gotten really good feedback, and I think people are getting tons of value out of that content. So if you're interested, again, just let me know and I'll get you information on it. All right. So stocks to watch. Going over the cues real fast. We have this downtrend line here. We have the 200-day EMA right here. Again, can it pop up into this 327-ish area? Sure. But I think that we're likely to retrace some and then potentially break out, maybe even making an inverse head and shoulders here. So again, sideways action or a little bit of a pullback, that would be very healthy before it moves higher, maybe just a day or two potentially. I mean, it's been a pretty strong market, right? So again, looking really, really good overall, very, very strong. All right, so let's get into my stocks. Okay, I think there's 24 total on this list. So let's get rolling. All right, so IoT is the first one. This was actually one of my the first one I did for my super follows last week. It had a fantastic week. It was up I think 14% or 12%. It was a big, huge move, as you can see right here. Came out of a beautiful cup and handle, and so now they're just managing the position if they chose to enter it. Okay, but again, this was one. It was a fully annotated chart. When I do these, I had two last week. Anyway, IoT, beautiful looking chart. Now it probably needs to pull back a little bit, and then it can kind of move higher. It's just a little bit extended, in my opinion, at this point. Again, if you got in here, right, that's what I had people, suggested they enter it. You got a very nice run. All right, again, if it pulls back, to 15, I don't know, in a quarter or so, even 15, 50-ish, I could see somebody, managing risk against that. All right, IoT. Next is let's do the other one, was Gtlb. This was the other one that I suggested my super follows may want to consider coming into last week. Again, it had a fantastic move the whole week. And so a lot of them did get in on this. Again, it's coming up to this 200-day EMA. So I would not be surprised if it pulls back some and then potentially start a position or add to a position there. Next up is Avlr. Again, trying to break out. Again, earnings. So know your earnings dates, guys. Right? So I wouldn't do anything before earnings, but I like this chart. Same thing for Shockwave. Again, great looking chart, but it is earnings. So I'm not going to, do anything before earnings. Flywire, same thing. He's got earnings coming up, but a nice looking chart. EVH, post earnings coming back to retest this area. Looks really good. On semiconductors, trying to break out. I believe it already had earnings. Yeah, had earnings right here. So again, it's extended. Maybe needs to pull back some before the breakout. Look how it came off the bottom so fast. All right, so let it correct now, maybe through time, and then we'll look for the breakout. Nova, the solar names have been fantastic. Right here would have been a place to potentially get involved. It's turning around now. We got to wait for it to come back. Listen, if it comes back to 2650-ish or so, that'd be a nice place to enter this one. Nova. SHLS, another solar name. We get earnings coming up, but a very nice looking chart. AXNX, Exonics, kind of broke out of this double bottomish thing. Great volume coming through. Again, it's just extended. It probably needs to pull back. And that's me the theme on a lot of these names. A lot of these names got ahead of themselves a little bit, and maybe they just need a little pullback or consolidation, sideways movement even. Bloom Energy, look at that, straight up. Beautiful chart though, but way extended, right? And earnings on top of it. CEG, I mean, just so strong and powerful, right? You can even just do this right here, look at that, boom. I would love to see it, maybe come back, maybe even close the gap. We'll see. Earnings are over, or even just retest this area, come back 68.50. That'd be a gift, right? And see what happens. Big gap right there, big gap right there. What is these gaps telling me? At least it's telling me that there is huge amount of demand for this stock, right? So now, if we can find a good reward to risk entrance, that's great, right? That's CEG and FE. Again, very nice looking chart. We can easily put something like this, right? Didn't quite come up here, but we got this and we got this. Again, it is extended. Maybe needs to pull back one more time and then go. Let's see what we got here. S. Come on, Sentinel-1. Hope I didn't lose the internet. Let's try BEPC. Well, that worked. So we'll come back to S in a second. BEPC, again, really nice looking chart. Had earnings, nice move higher. It just needs to give you a spot. Man, if you get like one of these or one of these, that could be a spot to enter. I'm not sure why Sentinel-1's not coming up. There it is. All right, we made it work. So Sentinel-1, I mean, so you want like a VCP pattern? Well, there you go, right? There's your VCP. Nice. Every time it comes back, it's a lower, higher low, right? Again, higher low. And look at this nice bunch up. That's a very, very nice looking chart. Decent accumulation on there. Really like this chart a lot. This is Sentinel-1S. I'll just make a note of that because I do like this chart. Bumble, BMBL. I think they're online dating or something. I don't even know what they do. But I like how this is starting to get very bullishly aligned. Earnings coming up. CRDO, super strong. Earnings not too far in the future, and it's kind of here where you're seeing the pullbacks kind of start to happen, right? So let it pull back. You're probably going to get too close to earnings, and then we'll see what happens. HRMY, again, had this area, pulled back, supported. Now it's right here, kind of getting everything bunched up together. Looks pretty good. That's Harmony Biosciences, SGFY. Super strong name right there. Let's go ahead and just put in, I think, something like that, right? Again, got the breakout, great volume. It's extended. Wait for the retest of the breakout. If it happens, then you could potentially start a position. ULCC, Frontier, Planes. I usually don't have planes on here, but I mean, this is really strong move. Now it's creating some sort of, symmetrical flag. If it can, break the downtrend line, something like that, that would be really interesting. Again, it's got to break out to manage risk, and it's so extended right now. Give it a little bit of time. Utz, my favorite pretzel, just super strong off the bottom. Earnings coming up, but they look great. They're in all kinds of new markets. I know they're in the Southeast now because I buy them at my stores down here. Publix carries them. So yeah, but it's coming up to this area right here, and it's got earnings coming up. So not exactly sure this is where I would start a position after this run. But if we could pull back maybe to the 50-day, 23, this is 23-day, even the 200-day, and then move up, that would be something. That's UTS. GBT. Again, crazy strong name, way extended, but earnings coming up. Or earnings, yeah, earnings hasn't happened yet. Earnings is coming up. So let's see what happens with this one. But this chart really stood out to me. Next up is MCI. I'm sorry, MLI. Mueller Industries. So you have this breakout right here. And now it's flagging, right? That's what we want to see. It may need a little bit more time to flag, but this one looks really good. Paid earnings, paid a dividend already. Did it pay a dividend? I'm not sure. No, dividend's up here. But paid already earnings, and so now a nice little low volume, right? Low volume pullback right into the moving averages. Maybe the 23 needs to come up a little higher, but looks really good. It's MLI, and they do sheet metal or something like that. Danaher, DHR, again, big up, and there's your little flag right there. So if you get a break of this little flag area, I think that's a place to manage risk against. Again, it is kind of extended, so may need some more time. HXL. This was an interesting one that came up. Again, very, very strong. We're seeing a lot of these kind of flaggy type things. Again, it's extended though, so it may need more time. This may not be enough. Okay, we'll have to watch it and see, but it looks really, really good. And CDNS is my last one. Again, there's your flag. There's your up flag. Again, may need a little bit more time, but it looks pretty good. And something like this, right? It's right to the point of this potential resistance, something like that, right? So it'll break out and then gets above also, but just may need more time. It may need to consolidate or come in a little bit more, okay? And I've said that for a lot of these charts because last week, a lot of these growth names did run really, really good. So yeah. So again, give it some time, patience, get the good entry. Good entries will solve a lot of risk management issues that may or may not come up, okay? Good luck this week. Again, if you're interested in super follows, I'll have a link below in the description, or find me on Twitter at AlphaCharts365. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for liking and subscribing to my YouTube channel. It does mean a lot to me, and I hope you all have a great week. Good luck.